Hello students, welcome to my channel Science No Problem. My name is Tish Kumar Sharma and I am teaching you science. So my dear students, like our previous videos, this video is also going to be very informative and very useful for you. So please watch the video till end. And please don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel uh, uh, to support and uh, motivate me so that I bring you still more useful and still better videos for you. So my dear students, without wasting any time, so let's start our today's video. So before we start our today's topic, let's take a quick revision of the work which we have done in our previous video. So my dear students, we were actually studying effects of oxidation in our day-to-day life. So I had told you that oxidation affects us in two ways in our life. That is in terms of corrosion of metals, and second is in terms of rancidity of food. So my dear students, we had actually studied corrosion in detail in our previous lecture. So my dear students, I have told you that corrosion is actually a gradual eating up of metals when exposed to moist air is called actually corrosion. Once again, a gradual eating up of metals when exposed to moist air is called corrosion. Corrosion is caused by oxidation of metals. So what happens that as a result of corrosion, so metals they become dull in appearance, and even some for example iron that gets completely eaten up. So we had studied actually corrosion of iron in detail. So let's recall me what we had studied. Iron corrosion of iron is also called actually rusting. So rusting is a slow process actually in which iron reacts with actually moist air, and moist air contains actually water and oxygen. So when iron reacts with oxygen and water, it forms actually iron hydrated iron oxide. We have actually discussed this, and that is also called rust actually. So this is actually rust is a red brown actually flaky substance. So after some times what happens that this substance gets detached from the surface of iron metal, and the metal inside gets exposed to moist air, and that also starts rusting. So this rusting of iron continues till actually the whole iron metal gets totally damaged, totally eaten up. So I had told you that prevention of iron from rusting is very important. Now, my dear students, our today's topic is how we can prevent actually iron metal from rusting. So we have actually five ways by which we can prevent rusting. Number one is by painting. So let me explain how by painting actually helps us actually to prevent rusting of iron. So when we paint an object which is made up of iron, for example our gates or our windows, when we paint these objects, so what happens, the contact between the metal and the air is actually broken. So air actually metal air cannot react with metal, so hence rusting is prevented. And second is by applying grease or oil. So like painting, how painting actually prevents rusting, in the same way grease and oil also help preventing iron objects from rusting. Then we have galvanization. Now what is galvanization? The process of depositing the layer of zinc on iron object. Again, let me tell you again, the process of depositing the layer of zinc on iron object. Now my dear students, let me tell you very important thing. I had already told you this thing also in one of my videos, that corrosion of all metals is not bad. You would be surprised to know this, that corrosion of all metals is not bad. For example, corrosion of aluminium, corrosion of zinc, corrosion of magnesium, this is not bad. How this is or why this is not bad? Because when these metals get actually oxidized, so what happens that the layer of actually oxide of these metals which is formed on their surfaces, so that layer is very tough and hard. For example, when we have zinc metal, so when it gets oxidized, so layer of oxide of zinc is deposited on zinc metal. So now this zinc oxide layer which is deposited on zinc metal, so that is very hard. So it does not allow actually oxygen to react with the metal inside this layer. And this layer actually contact between metal and air is broken. So metal actually which is inside this layer, so that gets actually prevented from corrosion. So this is how actually this corrosion of these reactive metals is good. So when we actually deposit layer of zinc on an object which is made up of iron, so that remains actually protected from corrosion. Then we have, okay, let me again tell you this thing, that corrosion of reactive metals, how it is good. So corrosion of reactive metal, why this is good? Because oxide of these metals, reactive metals, for example, oxide of zinc, oxide of aluminium, oxide of magnesium. So this layer of oxides deposited on them, these metals, so that is very hard and tough. And this layer does not allow air to come in contact with the metal inside this actually layer, and hence the corrosion stops, or there is no corrosion further of these metals. So that is how this is good in case of some metals. Then by alloying or mixing iron with chromium and nickel, okay, by tin plating or chromium plating. So tin plating and chromium plating, this is also actually covering outer metal surface with metals such as tin and chromium. Now how they actually prevent rusting? Because these metals, chromium and tin, so they are resistant to corrosion. That means they do not corrode easily. So if layer of these metals is deposited on objects made up of iron, then we can prevent these objects from rusting. Then by alloying means mixing iron with chromium and nickel metals to form stainless steel. So you know that we have actually at our house, in our kitchen, we have utensils which are made up of steel, stainless steel. So they do not actually corrode, or they do not rust. So why? Because actually they are also made up of iron, but iron is, before making them, iron is mixed with which metals? with chromium and nickel. So when iron is mixed with chromium and nickel, then steel is formed, so which is actually resistant to corrosion. So my dear students, this is how actually we can prevent rusting of iron. So now we have we have studied actually corrosion of iron as well as the methods to prevent rusting. So now based on this topic, we have I will give you some questions. So the question number 1 which I am giving you is, explain the term corrosion with an example. So corrosion, I have actually taught you what is corrosion, and example I have given. For example, corrosion of iron. Write a chemical reaction to show the corrosion of iron. And you know very well, I had already told you that the reaction of corrosion of iron is very, very important. So please write that equation 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, and it will get printed in your brain. And this is very, very useful actually. Then question number 2 is, the chemical reaction involved in corrosion of iron is, once again, the chemical reaction involved in the corrosion of iron is, A is oxidation as well as displacement, B is oxidation as well as combination, C is reduction as well as combination, D is reduction as well as displacement. So I am repeating this. The chemical reaction involved in the corrosion of iron is, A choice is oxidation as well as displacement, B option oxidation as well as combination, C is reduction as well as combination, and D is reduction as well as displacement. So my dear students, if you have attentively attended today's class and the class before this, so there is no question that you will not be able to answer these questions. And my dear students, one question from this topic, corrosion, is generally asked in your exam, board exams. So please study these topics actually carefully. I think this is all for today. So if you have any point which is not clear to you, then please write in a comment box, and please try to answer these questions. And so this is all for today. So thank you very much for watching this video, and keep watching our videos, and keep learning and keep growing. Good luck.